You may not know this, but Medicare.gov has some great resources for Medicare. That plus how to avoid that pesky Medicare surtax. Stay tuned. So, you may or may not know, but right now is Medicare enrollment season. Meaning, if you're on Medicare, you've turned 65 this year, or you're older than 65 this year, you have the opportunity to go ahead and select a new plan for 2022. Now, you have until December 7th to go ahead and make those changes. So, what I wanted to do today was kind of go through what it looked like on the website so you can get some information, give you some resources, and then, of course, if you have any questions, concerns, you can let us know, reach out to us, and we'll connect you with someone to get you some help. But right here on the Medicare.gov website, as you can see, there's really nice information just on this website in general. So one of the best things to do is to just go through this process of looking at Medicare plans so that you can decide for yourself when that time comes which one's going to be best. Now, we recommend working with someone who's in this space, a Medicare expert, because they're going to have all the knowledge right around any plan changes. They're going to have more specifics around the plans, but this website, the Medicare.gov website, does give you a very good base knowledge around all of these things. That way, you know if you running into problems, you know which questions to ask, because that's always a lot of the daunting tasks around Medicare. There's so many different parts to Medicare. If you're going that route, or if you're just on the Medicare Advantage plan side, which kind of plan are you going for? So this helps to at least set some base knowledge and to give you some understanding so that when you're going out and shopping or when you're talking to experts in this area, you know some of the questions to ask. So on the main website, here we are, and you'll see it says find 2022 health and drug plans. So you can go ahead and click on that and it'll take you to this page where it wants you to log in or create an account. Now, you can log in and create an account if you want to, but you know the best piece is to just continue without logging in, because this will just take you through the process. You don't have to worry about signing in, and it's just a lot quicker. Right, so then it's going to ask us, hey, what kind of coverage are you looking for? What kind of Medicare coverage? And if you don't know, you just kind of put in here and say, hey, I want to learn my options before I see my plans, right? You can put in your zip code. So I'm going to put our office zip code right here in Irvine. It'll give us Orange County. So here we are. And then it brings us to this next screen. It says, you know, your Medicare coverage options. So there are two ways to slice and dice Medicare. There's original Medicare, which includes all the different parts. For example, your Part D, which is the prescription drug plan, right? And you can also add additional parts to that, what they call original Medicare on the left there. The second piece to Medicare is what we call the Medicare Advantage plan, right? This is exactly how they describe it. It's the all-in-one alternative to original Medicare. Now, the Medicare Advantage plan is going to look a little bit more, as I describe it, like your group health plan that you had through work. It's kind of your one-stop shop. It's got everything under it. You don't get to pick and choose other supplemental plans to go alongside it. You kind of get it all bundled together, as they put it. So it's really up to you which one you choose. There's no right or wrong answer. It just comes down to what it is that you're looking for. And so this gives you the ability, though, to go ahead and look at some of the differences. So right here on Original Medicare, we can come through here, and one of the biggest ones to look for, right, is most likely going to be the Part D. If you're on Original Medicare, you're going to try and find a drug plan, prescription drug plan that goes alongside of that, so that you can really decide what drugs are included, what's the price range, because the other big deal around Medicare is all the different parts come at different costs. So you have carriers fighting for your business. They're trying to do different things with the plans that they have. So you really will have different plans and different options to go through. And so right now, all I did was do add extra coverage. I'll add the supplemental, which gives us some extra parts as well. And then from here, you scroll down here and it says look at plans. Now you will have to do one extra step. It'll say, do you get help with costs? You can just say, I'm not sure. That way it just kind of defaults to giving you the options. It'll say, do you want to see the drug costs when you compare the plans? You can say yes. They'll just give you some more additional information. And you can actually go in here and add the specific drugs that you're currently taking. And so it'll give you a good list and a good sense of, hey, what's going to be covered and what does that look like? So I'm going to say done. And then right here, so now I'm looking at different prescription drug plans. As you can see, there's 25 under the specific parameters that I have put in, which is a lot, right, for you to go through. And that's why the big piece that we recommend is you do talk to a Medicare expert. We have one that we work with specifically. He's been a great resource for us and for our clients. If you're looking for that type of help, let us know. We'll connect you with him. But you can still go through here and just really get a sense of what's going on. And so right now, this specific SilverScript Smart RX is giving you the monthly premium of $7.50. And then there's additional $90 yearly premium for the whole years. And this doesn't have to do with the drugs, right? There's another deductible here that shows you. And then when you add your drugs, you'll get an estimated cost of what this plan would look like if you were to buy those drugs every month, every quarter, whatever it looks like. So the more specific you can be, the better idea you'll have of the actual cost. And so I'll scroll down here and you just kind of get a sense of some of the differences, right, of just purely the cost. Now, if you want to see the plan details, you just click right here on these plan details, and this should give you more information. I say should, but some cases they don't. However, you'll see here, generic, preferred brand. So they do break it out, and for most of these carriers, they should have some kind of formulary that you can look up, and that's the whole reason you would put in your prescriptions on there, is that it'll pull those drugs in and give you an idea of what the cost will be. So I want to make sure that you understand that you do have a lot of options around Medicare. It's not as simple as when you're working for your company, maybe you're working for yourself, right? And when you're looking across the landscape, there may be a few carriers, or if you're in a group health plan, you maybe have 2 or 3 options, right? So that's all you had. And now in Medicare world, you have a lot more flexibility. You have a lot more options. How you slice and dice and mix everything together will completely depend on your specific situation. So don't think that since your friend is telling you they're on this specific plan and it's the best plan, their health may be completely different than yours. Or it may not be, and they just have different preferences for doctors and the types of premiums that they want to pay. So don't get stuck in the mindset that you have to have the same premiums, you have to have the same coverage as your friend because it turned out it worked really well for them. It's not a one-size-fits-all, especially around health, right? So make sure you're taking a look at this Medicare.gov website. Like I said, it has a ton of really good information on it, not just around the plans for the new years, but it breaks out what some of these things mean. And before getting way deep in the weeds on these things, reach out to us and let us know. We'd be happy to talk to you around this. Again, connect you with someone who could be a resource for you. So how do you avoid the Medicare surtax? And for most clients that are in this area, I've broken this down for you and talked you through this, but I just wanted to put this out there that Medicare does charge what I call a Medicare surtax. So now I want to talk about one of the most important things, which is the cost, right? Because everyone wants to know what's the cost for paying into Medicare. Well, keep in mind, there are a couple different parts to Medicare. So the Part A is included because the Part A cost is what you've paid through your paycheck by working all these years before you've retired, right? So your Part A is technically included. It's not free, but it's included. Your Part B is the big one that Medicare looks back 2 years to determine what it's going to be this year, right? So for 2022, Medicare is going to look at your 2020 tax return and see, hey, where do you fall on this table? Because these columns represent your filing status, the income level, and then this rightmost column determines what kind of Part B cost you're going to have depending on that. So the easiest way to determine how Medicare gives you the costs for your Part B is to pull up your 1040. So your 1040 on line 11 actually shows you your adjusted gross income. So that is that AGI, right? Now you have to add back in this tax exempt interest line, which is 2A if you have it. That gives you your MAGI. I know, confusing. They gotta add all these things in here. However, your MAGI will essentially give you the number that you need to determine where you fall on this scale. So if you're, for example, above 176, but you're under 222, then you're going to pay $207 a month for your Part B. Now, this is per person. So if you're married, you're each going to pay that amount, right? You don't get to separate things out, and you don't want to file separately for tax purposes anyway. So that kind of goes with that. So that'll determine where you fall on that scale. Now, there is one very cool way to avoid the surtax, which is, I'm sure, the whole reason you're listening to this, which is you can file with Medicare this exemption form that basically tells them, hey, I've had some life-changing events that doesn't show my income being at the levels it was when I was working as it is today, right? The idea that, hey, I was working, making a lot of money, now I've retired, I'm just taking money out of my savings, my retirement savings, and I should not be getting penalized for that money, essentially is what you're telling Medicare, right? And so this form, the Medicare exemption form, you can take, fill out, and send in to Medicare and get an exemption for paying a high level of premium. So in the example where you do have more costs, right? If you're Part B and you've made, let's say you're in this second bracket where you're paying virtually $50 more a month for your Part B premium, well, you can file with Medicare and say, I've had work stoppage, I've retired, and Medicare will, in most cases, will go ahead and approve that, and you'll be back down to the lowest possible Part B premium, which is the $148. All right, so don't be afraid to go ahead and file that form, because the biggest thing that can happen is them saying, no, you don't qualify for that, right? The biggest thing, they'll come back and say, oh, no, you're still in that Medicare Part B premium, and so there's nothing we can do. Okay, well, the worst thing you can do is try, right, to lower that and save yourself $600, if you're married, $1,200 a year, which is very much worth it just to file a form, right? So the biggest thing is to not be shy, to go down, file the form. I've even had clients go down the Social Security office, talk to someone, share with them the information, make sure they're honest around, hey, this is what's happened, this is how my income is, and use your advisors as your resources, because we can help you predict what some of your income is going to be, because we've helped you develop the retirement distribution strategy. And so don't think that just because you're taking income above and beyond what these levels are, that you'll be in the higher Part B cost bracket, because in most cases it comes down to taxable income. And if you're working with us, right, we're going through strategies to make sure that we're minimizing that, to make sure that we're trying to save as much as we can on cost around taxes. And Part B is not a tax, but it's a cost, right? So there may be situations where we say, hey, take some Roth distributions instead of that IRA distribution for the last 2 months. Or, hey, cut back on those IRA distributions in general and live off some savings for a little bit until the new year that we can adjust your distributions. So there are some different strategies around that. And the biggest one is to make sure that you're filing the exemption form, because in all reality, if it's changed, your life has changed around work, then you shouldn't be penalized for having the higher premium, because you're not making that high dollar amount, and you're instead pulling down savings. And kind of the last bit of this is that it doesn't matter if you're $1 over the limit or $50 over the limit, $100 over the limit. All that matters is that you're $1 over the limit. It's not a progressive scale like our tax system. Medicare says once you're above $176,000, then you're paying that surtax. So be on the lookout for that. And I think the biggest surprise to people is when they're getting ready to retire is they don't realize that Medicare looks back 2 years, right? But you do have this out with the Medicare exemption form. So I hope this information is helpful. Right now, we're in the middle of Medicare open enrollment. Again, if you have a concern, if you're looking for some more help around this, reach out to us. We have resources for you. We've hopefully talked to you around this area already, but if for some reason we forgot or you don't feel like you have enough information, please just let us know. We want to make sure that you're feeling good around this area because health is probably the number one priority in retirement. So if you like this video, give it a like, subscribe, tell your friends. Until the next one, have a great rest of your day.